If you cannot understand Ketu, you cannot understand life. If you cannot understand a bird, you cannot understand the true essence of freedom. Freedom is the ultimate experience of life. There is nothing higher than freedom. And out of freedom, many flowers blossom within you. Life can be experienced in the true sense only when you are absolutely free, when you don't need a visa. You enjoy absolute freedom. In this special podcast on Ketu Mahadasha, many of you will learn what to do and what not to do during Ketu Mahadasha, and you will be able to realize what to do and what not to do during Ketu Mahadasha when you understand the true essence of Ketu and the message of Ketu. In this video podcast, you will find many such insights that can help you overcome the Ketu Mahadasha. So sit back and listen till the end. Let's begin. Ketu sets you free. Ketu knows no boundaries and no borders, because Ketu is all about being in a no-mind state. Only mind goes on building walls and borders and limitations and conditions. Only mind discriminates. The moment you attain the state of no mind, you become the river, the cool breeze, the bird who simply knows nothing of borders and boundaries, and that is indeed the true freedom. Freedom has to well up from within. Always remember, freedom can only be found within. The more you move away from your mind, the more you would be able to sail smoothly during the Ketu Mahadasha. Clinging is the nature of the mind, and Ketu wants you to let go. Letting go is hard, but many times holding on is harder. Ketu Mahadasha will become a hell if and only if you continue to holding on. Attachments is the reason. Because of being attached too much to the matters of life, you find it difficult to let go, and you continue to holding on. And the more you continue to holding on, the more you yourself will invite more miseries during Ketu Mahadasha. It is necessary to remember that holding on makes us strong is a myth. Sometimes it is better to let go. When you are willing to let go, when you are willing to drop your mind, when you are willing to forgive and forget, only then Ketu Mahadasha can truly become a wonderful journey that brings much wisdom to your being. Have you ever observed the trees in the winter? How wisely they let go the leaves. All the leaves fall just so that the tree can give birth to absolutely brand new leaves. That is how you all should be, especially during Ketu Mahadasha. Let all the leaves fall, because through this fall, through this loss, a new life is going to be born, fresh and alive. During the autumn season, the trees let go all its leaves and looks completely barren. Shunya, 0. Ketu Mahadasha is the season of autumn. After the autumn season is over, spring arrives. And it is in the season of spring that the trees start flowering again, giving birth to fresh new green leaves. This season of spring is the season when your Venus Mahadasha begins. It is the end of autumn. It is the end of Ketu Dasha and beginning of the spring season, the Venus Dasha. But unless all the leaves fall, unless everything is cleansed, how can the new leaf, the new fresh flowers arrive? So you see, that is why Ketu Mahadasha is of immense significance. The whole cleansing process happens only during the autumn season, during the Ketu season, during the Ketu Mahadasha. Tears of suffering and struggles are a cleansing shower for the soul. Once you have been through the suffering phase during Ketu Mahadasha, then the cleansing happens. But this cleansing of body, mind and soul can remain intact only if you take to meditation. Let prayer come after meditation. You meditate. Meditation will prepare your heart. It will cleanse you. It will cleanse you of your thoughts. It will throw out all the rubbish that you have been carrying in your head for ages, for lives. It will make space for prayer to happen. Meditation is like preparing the ground for a rose bed. Prayer is like a rose. First you have to prepare the ground. You have to remove the weeds. You have to change the soil. You have to throw out all the stones. The ground foundation of a new life, a purified life, is prepared only during the Ketu Mahadasha. My fellows, only during Ketu Mahadasha or Guru Mahadasha you truly start transforming. Ketu therefore is the right hand of Guru, the protector, the provider, the master. It is always the master who chooses his disciple. The disciple cannot choose the master. It is the master who chooses his disciple. That is how Jesus chooses his 12 disciples. That is how Krishna chooses Arjuna. That is how Buddha chooses Mahakasyap, Ananda, Sariputta. In the Mahadasha of Mercury, you have been too logical. You have been using too much of your head. And by using your head and your logic, you become a robot. You become mechanical. And when you become like a robot, you start losing an opportunity to create meaning of life. Life in itself has no meaning. Life is an opportunity to create meaning. You may earn good money during Mercury Mahadasha, but you find meaning of life only during Ketu Mahadasha. And Ketu Mahadasha comes after Mercury Mahadasha. That indeed is a beautiful way of God telling you that enough is enough. Now wake up, else it will be too late. It is only in Ketu Mahadasha that you wake up. You come back to your senses, you become aware. And once awareness comes, then you are no more the same. You transform, you evolve, you rise from the ashes, just the way the phoenix rises from ashes. The phoenix is a beautiful symbolic figure that signifies the Ketu Mahadasha, through which you rise, you transform, you mature, you evolve. The phoenix, in times of doubt and confusion, it symbolizes strength, transformation and renewal. For only from the ashes of who we are, we can rise up to become who we are to be. And that is the whole essence of this beautiful transformative period of Ketu Mahadasha, my fellows. It is the time when you become what you are supposed to be. That is a wise man. Wisdom comes alone through suffering. Ketu may bring suffering, but this suffering is a blessing in disguise, my fellows. For it is this suffering that eventually transforms you into a beautiful, wise person. Ketu is the process of attaining freedom, liberation, moksha. And liberation, freedom comes only through detachment. Ketu is just another word for detachment. Ketu is the synonym of detachment. The essence of the way is detachment, says Bodhidharma. When a baby is about to come out of the womb, he or she goes through tremendous pain. This phase is painful because the baby has always been clinging to his mother, but now he has to come out of her womb. Ketu period is just like that. The pain is to make you free, make you independent, make you detached. And the moment the doctor cuts the cord between the baby and the mother, the baby is born in the true sense. The real birth time is when the cord is cut and the baby becomes free, independent. The experience of birth happens only when the cord is cut, when the baby is detached from the mother. Ketu is detachment. Through this detachment, a new life begins. And so it is natural that when the cord is cut, you will find it painful. But remember, this cutting the cord is necessary for you to reborn. This is how you feel when you come out of Ketu Mahadasha, the painful process of coming out of the mother's womb. But see, now everybody is smiling. Even the baby knows he is out and he is free to take the first breath of his life. This is the very first physical detachment through which a new life begins. And then comes the second birth, the spiritual birth, the real detachment when you are chosen by the compassionate, benevolent Master. The first birth is through the mother. It is painful, but through that pain you attain a new life, a new physical form. The second birth is through the Master. It is also painful, but through that pain you are reborn and experience the higher realms of consciousness. The second birth is indeed the spiritual birth. Always remember, one birth is from mother and father, another birth is from the Guru, the Master. You are again in another womb, a spiritual womb. You have to close accounts with your physical womb completely. You have to drop all hangovers with your physical birth so you can be totally here now with the Master. That is the whole message of Ketu. Drop all the hangovers with your physical birth and just be with the Master. You can do your business and you can do your job, but ensure that you remember Him. Ensure that you meditate every day. Ensure that you do not indulge in any corrupt practices. If you follow these simple guidelines, then Ketu Mahadasha will be a great transformative period of your life. My fellows, Ketu Dasha will completely transform you inside out. But who wants to listen? People are shallow. They just want more sex, more money, more power. And when they continue with this way of life, then it is natural that they will go through a hell time during Ketu Mahadasha. So it all depends on you, how much evolved your soul is, how much awareness is within you. Ketu is the greatest energy of this universe. Enlightenment is possible only through Ketu because Ketu is all about being detached. Ketu is all about being spiritual. Ketu is all about turning inwards. Even when you do sex during Ketu Mahadasha, then it is no more just a physical sex. It has more to do than just being physical. It has the purpose of attaining the experience of oneness. It is more of a tantra sex than just a normal sex. Tantra sex is a very special act. It is an act of sex where first both partners worship each other. The man worships the woman as a goddess, the woman worships the man as a god, and then they make love. Intense love through which they attain orgasm. And since the whole foundation, this wonderful act of sex is spiritual, they experience the oneness. Remember, Ketu never denies sex. There are millions and millions of men and women who have strong Ketu in the 7th house and still they had the maximum sexual pleasures in life. So Ketu never denies sex. Ketu spiritualizes sex. When you worship the woman as goddess and then have sex with her, when you worship the man as God and then have sex with him, then there is no sexuality in it. There is only love. And when sex happens out of intense love, then there remains no sex but only love. Always remember, love unites, sex divides. The word sex comes from a root which means division. Sex is the root cause of division. When you make sex to a person, woman or man, you think it unites you. For a moment, it gives you the illusion of unity, and then a vast division suddenly comes in. That's why, after every sex act, a frustration, a depression sets in. One feels that one is so far away from the beloved. Sex divides, and when love goes deeper and deeper and unites more and more, there is no need for sex. Your inner energies can meet without sex and you live in such a unity. Ketu Mahadasha is the perfect time to experience the much deeper aspects of sex, especially if you are a married person or in a relationship. The very myth that sexual relation can unite you more with your partner is indeed the greatest myth. Sex never unites, only love unites. So if love is there, only then your marriage or your relationship will last. Because a relationship based on sex always comes with an expiry date. The whole beauty of Ketu is that Ketu spiritualizes your sex life. Ketu Mahadasha is a beautiful time to experience the spiritual side of sex, to transform sex into something of the beyond. Love can give a new soul to sex. Then the sex is transfigured. It becomes beautiful. It is no longer sex. It has something of the beyond in it. It has become a bridge. So the very first lesson you should learn is that Ketu during his Mahadasha will not deny you the sexual pleasures you seek. Only if there is the essence of love in your act of sex. However, if you are just being horny and trying to get in the bed for having sex, then such a sex is ugly. And then Ketu Mahadasha will definitely give you much pain in the matters of sex. So it all depends. The whole essence is that Ketu wants you to stop being a robot and bring more aliveness to your being. And one becomes alive only when you start becoming spiritual. Spiritual awakening is becoming awake to the aliveness of this moment. Ketu Mahadasha, therefore, is a wonderful period of self-transformation for those who are becoming spiritual, who are bringing the wonderful essence of spirituality in every act of their life. From sex to prayers, from trees to tables, from head to heart. Did I say head to heart? Because nothing can explain as beautifully as this phrase, head to heart. That is exactly what Ketu wants, my fellows, to move you from your logical head to your lovable heart. What is meditation? It is a journey from head to heart. Beautiful. And so, those men and women are idiots who defame Ketu. It is not Ketu who is frustrating you. It is your own stupidity. It is your own utter ignorance. It is your unwillingness to listen to what life has to say is what makes you frustrated during Ketu Mahadasha. Don't be angry at life. It is not life that is frustrating you. It is you who are not listening to life. Listening to life means living with acceptance, tathat. Someday you should read my book, Beauty of Acceptance, tathat. It is only when you live with acceptance that you can find peace and you can progress in life. The more you rebel, the more you are unwilling to accept, you will remain stuck. And a man who remains stuck can never move on. During Ketu Mahadasha, you have to simply realize the fact that all the bad karma that you had indulged in the past are now in for a deep cleansing. And cleansing can cause pain, but it is worth it. Sometimes God allows us to cry, to cleanse our eyes with tears, so we can clearly see the good things coming. Only a man who can cry, only a woman who can cry are the most beautiful beings on this planet. Remember, never be ashamed of your tears, because only a man of heart can cry. Only his eyes can become wet. Tears of self-realization, tears of joy can flow only through such a man's eyes. Never be ashamed of your tears. Be proud that you are still natural. Be proud that you can express the inexpressible through your tears. Tears are the most valuable treasures. Reminds me of a beautiful story that moved my heart and brought tears to my eyes. Who knows, it may bring tears to your eyes as well. The story is of a great sage and his disciple, Satyakam. The great sage, and his name was Uddhalak, and he was a learned scholar. Many kings and queens would send their sons and daughters to attain higher education under the able guidance of sage Uddhalaka. But one day a very poor boy came and fell at sage Uddhalaka's feet. He said, "My name is Satyakam Jabal, and I have come from faraway land just to attain education under your guidance. Please accept me as your disciple." Sage Uddhalaka asked, "Who is your father? First I need to know your family." Satyakam was a simple boy. He said, "Many men have used my mother because she was poor. So I don't know who is my father. All I know is that my name is Satyakam and my mother's name is Jabala. So they call me Satyakam Jabal. And as far as the search for truth is concerned, it doesn't matter who my father is." Sage Uddalaka stood up. Never had he seen such a student, so straight, so simple, so pure. Looking into the eyes of Satyakama, Sage Uddalak said, I will accept you. It does not matter who your father is. What matters is that you are authentic, sincere, unafraid, capable of saying the truth without feeling embarrassed. Your mother has given you the right name, Satyakam. Satyakam means one whose only desire is truth. You have a beautiful mother, and you will be known as Satyakam Jabal. And the tradition is that only Brahmins can be accepted as disciples. I declare you a Brahmin, because only a Brahmin can have the courage of such a truth. Those were the most beautiful days, when the Guru used to decide the caste based on the quality of the student. In a way, we all are Shudra, because the state of Brahmin comes only when you attain self-realization. Satyakam soon became the most favorite student of Sage Uddalaka. He deserved it. He was so pure, so innocent. But after 10 years, when Satyakam had attained all the knowledge, Sage Uddalaka said, Satyakam, whatever I have been telling you is knowledge gathered from the scriptures. It is not my own. I have not experienced it. I have not lived it. I suggest that you go deeper into the forest. I know a man who has realized. He is one of the greatest enlightened masters. Go to him and come back only when you attain self-realization. When you go to him, tell him that you have come to know the truth, that you have come to know love, to know God. Satyakam sets out in search of the enlightened master. After many months, he finds the master, and the master is seated beneath the tree, and there are many students seated before him. Satyakam rushes towards the master and fell upon the master's feet. Tears of joy started flowing through his eyes. His joy knew no bound. He said to the master, I have come to know the truth. I have come to know love. I have come to know God. The master looked into Satyakam's eyes, and Satyakam's joy knew no bound. How deep were those eyes, how beautiful, how compassionate, and so much of love was in those eyes. Satyakam was deeply moved. The master said, It is possible, but you are asking something very difficult. There are so many disciples here. They all want more knowledge. They want to know about this and about that. But if you insist that you are not interested in information, that you are ready to do anything, that your devotion to truth is total, then I will find a way for you. Satyakam said, I am ready to sacrifice my life, but I cannot go without knowing the truth. Neither I can go to my teacher, nor can I go to my mother, who has given me the name Satyakam. And my teacher accepted me without knowing whether I was a Brahmin or not, just on the simple grounds that I was truthful. Tell me what has to be done. The master said, Take all these cows that you see here, take them into the deep forest. Go as deep as possible so you don't come in contact again with any human being. The purpose is that you forget language, you forget words. Live with the cows, take care of the cows, play on your flute, dance, but forget words. And when the cows have grown to the count of 1,000, then you come back. The other disciples could not believe what was happening, because there were just a dozen cows. How long is it going to take for them to become 1,000? Maybe a whole life. But Satyakam took the cows, went as deep as possible into the forest. beyond human contact, beyond human context. For a few days it was difficult, but slowly he got used to it. The cows were his only company, and they are very silent creatures. He played on the flute, he danced alone in the forest, he rested under the trees. For a few years he continued to count the cows. Then, by and by, he dropped it, because it seemed impossible that they would become 1,000. And moreover, he was forgetting how to count. Language was disappearing, words disappeared, counting could not be saved. And the story is so enchanting, my fellows, that it is said that the cows became worried when they became 1,000, because they wanted to go back home, and this man had forgotten how to count. Finally, the cows decided, we have to speak, otherwise this lonely forest is going to become our grave. So one day the cows got hold of him and told him, listen Satyakam, we are now 1,000 and it is time to go back home. Satyakam said, I am very grateful to you. If you had not told me, I had even forgotten about home or about returning. Each moment was so tremendously beautiful, so many blessings. In the silence, flowers went on showering. I had forgotten everything. I had no idea why I had come here, who I am. Everything had become an end in itself. Playing the flute was enough. Resting under the trees was enough. Seeing the beautiful cows sitting silently all around was so beautiful. But if you insist, we should return. Satyakam embarked on his journey back home. And the disciples of the great master saw him coming with 1,000 cows. They reported to the master, we have never believed that he would come back. He is coming, and we have counted exactly 1,000 cows. He is coming. And when he came, he stood there just in the crowd of cows. The master said to the other disciples, you counted wrong. There are 1,001 cows. You forgot to count Satyakam. He has moved beyond your world. He has entered into the innocent, the silent, the mysterious. He is not saying anything. He is just standing there as cows are standing there. The great master said, Satyakam, come out. Now you have to go to your other master who sent you here. You have to go back to your teacher, sage Uddalaka. He is an old man and he must be waiting for you. Your mother is also waiting for you. And when Satyakam came back to sage Uddalaka, who was his first teacher, Uddalaka saw him from the window again and he ran out of the back door, because now Satyakam cannot be allowed to touch his feet. Now Uddalaka would have to touch Satyakam's feet, because Uddalaka was still a scholar and Satyakam was coming not as a scholar but as one who is awakened. Sage Uddalaka escaped from the house. He said to his wife, I cannot face him. I am ashamed of myself. Just tell him that I am dead and he can go now to his mother. Tell him I died remembering him. Teachers during those times were of different metal, my fellows. They were simply very, very beautiful beings, honest fellows. And so Satyakam went back to his mother. The mother had become very old, but she waited and waited and waited. And when Satyakam came, she could not stop crying. Those were the tears of joy. She could see the glow. She could sense the fragrance that lingered around him. She could see that her son has transformed, that he has become a Buddha, an enlightened being. Looking at him, she said, you have proved, Satyakam, that truth is always victorious. And you have proved that a Brahmin is not born. A Brahmin is a quality to be achieved. Everybody by birth is a Shudra, because everybody's birth is the same. One has to prove by purifying himself, by crystallizing himself, by becoming centered and enlightened. Then he is a Brahmin. Just to be born into the family of Brahmin does not make you a Brahmin. So deep and so true to the core. The Ketu Mahadasha is the period when you go deep into the forest, just the way Satyakam goes. The Ketu Mahadasha is when you rejoice in your aloneness by being detached, just the way Satyakam was detached. When you keep good company, Satasanga, just the way Satyakam was in the company of the holy cows. When you forget all about counting and calculations and instead devote yourself at the feet of the Lord, it is a period when you become one of those 1,000 cows. That is how beautifully the cleansing and the learning and the enlightening is possible during Ketu Mahadasha. The city Jabalpur is named after Satyakam Jabal, a beautiful man, a great master who lived with 1,000 cows and became just like a cow, holy, innocent, beautiful and lovable. Rahuish men, extrovert people who are continuously running behind power, money and sex will find Ketu Mahadasha difficult. But Ketuish men, meditative men, men of heart will find the Ketu Mahadasha a transformative period of their life, a turning point. It all depends on what you are from within. The more ignorant you are, the more you will perceive and experience Ketu Dasha as some kind of punishment. And the more aware you are, the more you will perceive and experience self-growth, self-purification, self-transformation during Ketu Mahadasha. Therefore, I always say, never ask anybody how Canada is or how Australia is, because the answer you will get is totally individual based. It is based on how a certain individual perceives, and perception is based on what you are from within. There are many men and women who have evolved and become wise during Ketu Mahadasha, and there are many greedy idiots who keep blaming Ketu for their own foolishness and ignorance. And so, during Ketu Mahadasha, you should do or you should follow these 3 points seriously. The first point, scale down your expectations. Frustration comes because of expectations. Move towards raising the quality of your life by turning inwards, by embarking on the spiritual path. Learn the lessons of your life, and instead of whining and complaining and torturing God, be grateful to God that you were cleansed, that you were the chosen one, because God tests only those whom He loves the most. And now, the remedies that you should follow during Ketu Mahadasha. The first remedy, fasting on Wednesdays, worshipping Lord Ganesha every Wednesday. The second, donating plain notebooks, pen, pencil to needy students. And the third, chanting any one of the following mantras. The first, Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. The second, Om Namo Narayanaya. The third, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Namaha. The fourth, Om Ram Krishna Hari. The fifth, Sri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Any one of this mantra you continue to recite. Never wear a cat's eye gemstone during Ketu Mahadasha unless your Ketu is in Ashwini, Mula or Magha nakshatra. The only gemstones that you can wear during Ketu Mahadasha are yellow sapphire, because it is highly effective stone, full of positivity, optimism and great blessings. The second, pink sapphire. It brings more love, more understanding, more caring to your being. The third, pink topaz. It keeps you going. You become more accommodating, helps you realize the significance of acceptance, a wonderful, positive, beautiful stone. The fourth, yellow topaz. It encourages you to stay optimistic, light-hearted, helps you to relax and take it easy. The fifth is rose quartz. Romantic, lovable, caring, nurturing. All these qualities gets a boost when you don a rose quartz. The sixth is real pearl, moti. Ketu is detachment, but if the individual is a less evolved soul, then he may not understand the higher purpose of Ketu and may just go into depression. And so to keep the mind alive, moti or real pearl is necessary. Wear it if you can afford it, because real pearls are very expensive. The alternative affordable stone to real pearl is moonstone. And now a very important message, especially to all my close followers. And the message is simple. Truth is always simple. The message is, during Ketu Mahadasha, just focus on purifying your day-to-day life by reciting the holy mantras, by reciting the shlokas, by reciting Hanuman Chalisa. Nobody is stopping you from earning money as long as your needs are to be addressed. But if you start running behind your wants, then Ketu will take you to task. So remain humble, remain grounded and recite Hanuman Chalisa every morning and night before you go to sleep. Neem Karoli Baba, one of the greatest divine masters, says, every line of Hanuman Chalisa is a Maha Mantra. The many beliefs that one should not have sex or should not marry during Ketu Mahadasha is all fake. Ketu has absolutely no interest in how many women or men you sleep with, because the more you become immoral, the more you become unethical, the more you will suffer during the period of Ketu. Have you ever seen a haunted man or woman? What happens when you bring them in a holy place of worship? They start getting the beating, the pain, not because the temple is at fault, but because they are utterly corrupted within. Similarly, Ketu Mahadasha is like a temple or a church, a holy time. But if you remain unholy and corrupt, then it is natural for you to suffer. Always remember, black magic or ghosts have been existing in this human world from the very beginning of time. If you want to prevent yourself from the spells of black magic, then you should focus on purifying yourself from within. The more you purify, the more you can overcome black magic spells. It is so simple, but who wants to listen? And so then comes the many fools who simply don't understand the simplicity of life. I always like simple man, simple woman. Have you been to Maharashtra? Have you read about the Warkari? Warkari is a sect initiated by one of the greatest saint, Saint Jnaneshwar. It is a sect of a very common people, farmers, poor farmers, laborers. They are called Warkari. because every year in the month of July they embark on a 400-kilometer journey by foot. The journey begins from a place called Alandi and ends at Pandharpur. These are very simple men and women. Only a simple man is a man of heart. He may be poor or rich, but he is very much grounded. He is very much humble, and he is very much aware of the truth that life is a constant change. And one should never get depressed in failures. One should never let the ego get into his head when he is driving at the peak of his career. Guru uses Ketu to help you overcome attachments, to help you cleanse yourself inside out. And then when you become an evolved being, a wise man, then you start doing good karma, and that is how your Saturn starts improving, since Saturn signifies the karma. So you see, everything is connected, my fellows. Everything is connected. The switch is plugged in. All you need is to press the button. All you need is to switch on the button, and the journey begins. The journey within. The only journey is the journey within. Close your eyes. Stop worrying about this world and turn inwards. There is a much beautiful world within you. Start exploring. Close your eyes, fall in love, and stay there. The message of Ketu is turn inwards, let go. If you can listen and implement this message in your life, then and only then you can truly evolve during Ketu Mahadasha. Only then you can transform into a beautiful butterfly. Only then you can become one from those 1001 cows, the way Satyakam began. Then you will dance, then you will play your music, then you will not bother who says what. That is the whole message of Sri Ketu, my fellows. The message is simple. Just be yourself. Love to all my listeners and followers. Stay positive, stay optimistic, and stay blessed. Always remember, the whole world may abandon you, but the Master accepts you. He never forgets you. You may forget him, but he will never forget you. The great Divine Master Neem Karoli Baba often used to say that you can leave me, I won't leave you. Once I catch hold of you, I don't let go. The love of the Master is beyond the power of expression. Only those who have become disciples can relate to such a pure love, unconditional love that goes on sharing, loving, and caring. Remember, if you take one step towards the Master will take 1000 steps towards you. It is only your longing for the Master that will drive him towards you, and then you don't have to search for him. He will come in search of you. Buddha says, I never plan my journeys. My legs start moving towards those who are thirsty for my words, for my love, for my blessings. The state of no mind is the state of Ketu. The state of no mind is the state of Buddha. Only a Buddha can relate to the beauty of Ketu. Without Ketu, there is no enlightenment. The whole humanity owes a big time to Ketu. I prostrate before Sri Ketu. May his blessings continue to shower upon us. Jai Shri Ganesha, Jai Guru.